TGR.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rudy from the Gaming Resume, and I'm here with
Onyx, your boy. That never gets old. Never.
I know, never. Sean, he isn't with us today. He's on a bit of a hiatus, and we're kind of in the middle of a transition. But we're trying a new format. We're trying a new thing, just because I'm all the way in Poland, and it's like the middle of the night over here.
Exactly. And so you're not gonna see our beautiful faces today. So you'll just stick to our amazing voices.
Yes.
But anyway, so funnily enough, this is take two because technology hates us, and that's okay. But here we are, baby. Podcast TGR. It's go time. Am I right or am I right?
Dude, let's do it, man. So I actually just finished uploading the Mario Maker 2 impressions and stuff like that. But oh man.
Well, let's catch up, dude. Let's start this little new segment here. Let's catch up. You've been away for a few weeks now, and I've been here just chilling. So what's going on? How's Mario Maker 2? How do you feel? You have your impressions up. If you want to listen to those, follow the thingamabob at the very top, I suppose. But well, yeah, just off the wall, man. How are you liking the game?
It's freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think that I would enjoy it as much as I am, and I feel like I don't know. I got it mainly for our son. I got it for Ollie. So Marta, she was looking at me and she was like, "Oh, like, are you sure that you want to go ahead and get this?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not? He wants it, so why not?" And man, I there are so many like awesome levels that people come up with,
right?
But there's also like a bunch of crap that's out there.
there always will be with creator games or anything like that. You're gonna get a bunch of nonsense. But I will agree, some of the creations are like incredible. Like I have experience with Mario Maker 1, and in that game, there were certain events that Nintendo would hold where they would get like popular creators of different media. So they would get like anime creators or manga writers to make levels for Mario Maker, and even pro designers too. Like I think Sakurai did a level for Mario Maker, I believe. I could be wrong, but they just got a bunch of different people from the industry or other similar industries like media to just do levels. And it was so cool. Like the stuff they came up with was like legitimately awesome.
That is insane, man. That is insane. It excites me because like I'm into it, Ollie's into it, so you know we build courses together, and it's a cool experience, man.
It really is.
I would recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting it. Like I said to you on the personal chat, I've been playing Mario Maker 1 with my son because he wants me to get the second one, but I'm waiting to actually get it next week. So I just had a trip, so finances have to make sense. But we've been playing the first one, and it's just great to literally have him make a level. And it's not a perfect level or anything like that. It's a 9-year-old essentially making this level. But we go back and forth. I make a level for him, he beats it, he makes a level for me, and that leads to a nice bonding experience that I swear Nintendo really just has always brought to me and my kids. So for more people to experience that, it warms my heart. It really does.
That's awesome. But aside from Mario Maker, man, what else have you been playing?
So I'm always playing Overwatch. That's always a thing. But recently I got a new GPU, and I decided to play some games on it. I ended up getting the Xbox Game Pass for PC, and I mean it looked like a good deal. It was only $8 for this first month. For their release, so I figured, what the heck, it's only $1, like I've got nothing to lose. So I jumped on it as soon as I got my GPU, and I booted up Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, and I also got Superhot. I wanted to get Gears of War 4. That's the reason I even looked into it. I wanted to try Gears of War 4 before the 5th one came out, and I also wanted to test out my GPU, but that thing is like 140 gigabytes, and the SSD that I don't got that much space. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to figure something out, because that's a lot. That's a lot of space, dude. So yeah, I'm like, forget it. I'll just play Hellblade. I'll play Superhot, and then once I'm done with those, I'll figure out the space situation. I really do want to play Gears.
Yeah.
But I mean, just long story short, I'm really enjoying Hellblade. It is a very unique experience. Like we discussed earlier, the creators, they consulted with a mental health expert, and our main character Senua, she has schizophrenia. So when you're playing the game pushes you at the beginning to play with headphones. They used a binaural 3D sound design for the game. So even though I don't have 3D headphones, it still friggin' sounds crazy realistic. Like, this is what I imagine somebody with schizophrenia and with those multiple voices that are constantly speaking to you. This is the closest up part we get to experiencing. And it is an experience. Like I told you in our personal chat, I feel exhausted playing the game. After about 30 minutes, I was just like, Jesus, like I can't do this. Like, it's a great game so far. In terms of gameplay mechanics, it doesn't do anything crazy new. This is definitely one of those you're here for the experience, because it opened up my eyes into what gaming really could do. We've talked about gaming in terms of what stories do and how they affect you, right? From a passive point of view. Then you also have the stories that are affected by your input, which can give you even more emotional resonance, right? So Hellblade showed me that now I'm over here, I could potentially empathize with somebody with a mental illness that I would never be able to empathize with. That's huge,
Yeah, man. Just preach, man. Just preach.
Yeah, right. Preach, brother. I want more of this stuff. It genuinely made me realize like the potential of games, and I've already loved that. I've already preached that myself, but I guess it solidified it yet again. What kind of media we have on our hands,
Right.
But to get off that, really, like that I'm getting off the soapbox. Super hot, super cool.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. Have you
Is
ever
this
played
your
that
first time
before?
playing it? Yeah, man. It's freaking epic.
Dude, I've never played it. Yeah, this is my first time playing it. And oh my god, what a game!
Oh, dude, it's so freaking awesome. Like, I remember the first time that I booted it up, I was kind of just like not really sure, and it was actually my brother-in-law that went ahead and recommended it to me, and I was like, all right, PC gaming's like pretty big in Europe, so I was like, all right, yeah, sure, I'll go ahead and I'll check it out. And I had no idea what I was getting into, but the sheer mechanics and like just overall kind of like just time stop, I guess.
Yeah,
would be the best way of
yeah.
calling it.
I mean, literally, you move and then time moves, and if you don't move, time still moves, just really, really slowly. But
Exactly.
that idea, and also the aesthetic, like the all white and the orange, and like it has that cool aesthetic feel to it, but there's nothing like there's no personality to it, at least from where I'm at. I've only played like maybe an hour of the game, so I'm not sure where the story's gonna go or if there's any actual personality to show. But I really dig it, man. Super cool concept, and I can see why this game is very popular in VR.
Nice. That's cool, man. So have you gotten any further in Bloodstained?
Yes, I am pretty close to the ending, so I don't know if I
way,
should
are you
talk about
serious?
this. Yeah, because
How many hours did you put in?
I am at like 9.5 hours.
Holy crap.
So this is the thing with Bloodstained. Like Symphony of the Night, it has multiple endings. Now, I don't know if you want me to talk about how those work, or if you want me to just leave that blank. I can throw a spoiler warning for anybody that actually really, really cares. You might want to skip this conversation, and I'll put the time on the video where you can listen to it again. And I'll be very vague with the spoilers. There are different endings. So there's an ending that I just walked into because I thought this was where the game was going to take me. You get into a fight, you finish the fight, and then boom, game over. And you're like, wait, what? How did I get game over? This sucks. So then I remembered, oh yeah, Igarashi likes to do this because in Symphony of the Night, that same thing happened. You beat Dracula, or you beat I forget who you beat. I think it was Death. I forget who it was. And then the game ends, and you're like, that's it? That's the ending? But no, it wasn't. That was like literally the halfway point, and it's the same thing here. So I'm working my way towards the real ending.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. I am nowhere near that far. I'm probably like maybe a couple hours in.
Yeah.
I pretty much like. I
What's the
started
last
playing
power
Mario
you
Maker
got?
2.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's a good game, but what's the last power you got in Bloodstained that you remember?
Oh, I literally have no idea, man. Like I think
Like, I know you fought Sengetsu because I saw that on your
yeah.
impressions video.
Yeah, but aside from that, man, like I pretty much stayed within that area. I think I got to the gardens, and then after that, like Mario Maker came out.
Yeah, dude, you've literally scratched the surface of Bloodstained. There's so much.
I 100% agree with you. I literally put in a couple of hours, and I was like, all right, Mario Maker 2 came out. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna play this.
I hear you, man. No, definitely play it. It really is one of those games that gets better as you go.
Well, it's a Metroidvania. That's normally how it is.
That's very true. Some of the level design is so good in this game. Like, I will always talk about the Tower of Twin Dragons because, oh my god, that level is so good and the music is so good. Yeah, I just keep playing it.
Touche. Well, that's cool, man. I definitely think that it's in my pipeline. I want to finish it before Fire Emblem comes out. That's for sure.
Dude, we have 3 weeks before Fire Emblem comes out. Literally 3 weeks from today. 21 days at the time of this recording. Yeah.
Oh man, I know, and like. I'm so freaking excited for it because, you know, I don't really care about tactical RPGs or SRPGs or anything like that. Like, I love turn-based RPGs. And we talked about it on the channel before, but, like, everything that's leading up to this release has gotten me hyped. Like, and I've said it before, like, during our E3, like, post-E3 conversation, how it just has those Game of Thrones vibes to it, and like the different kingdoms and realms, and like the story behind the characters and why they are where they are. I don't know, man. It's just
that's literally what sold me on it. The fact that you have these 3 like kingdoms vying for power, and not everything has to be Game of Thronesy, but because it has that potential like story element to it, I'm really excited because these are 3 friends, or at least they were friends when they were young, and then something happens to the main character. He's comatose for like 5 years, wakes up, and now everything's gone to hell, and his friends that were all a group of friends before are trying to kill each other. Like, that is just such a cool idea. I don't think it's ever been done with Fire Emblem, pretty sure, but I like it, and I don't know how I feel. Now, it is going to be a good game. I watched an overview trailer today that was like 9 minutes, just kind of going over a bunch of systems and what the game is about. And I'm sure they covered that in the Treehouse, but I didn't watch the Treehouse. I actually wanted to keep a little blind. I wanted to keep in the dark for Fire Emblem, and then I figured, what the hell, I'll watch it. Who cares? It's 3 weeks away. Damn, dude, I am really excited for Fire Emblem. That's going to be a good game. I really have high hopes for it.
You and me both, brother. Like, I pre-purchased it, and
Nice.
it's sitting there. It's waiting to get authenticated, and once it's like updated or whatever, like I'm in 110%.
Dude,
like
3 weeks, man, 21 days, and you'll be able to play your first Fire Emblem, which is exciting too. Your first time into this genre.
Well, not into the genre, but the first time into the series.
The series, right.
First time into the series. So
yeah.
I'm willing to get into the series because Fire Emblem has a lot of praise with its fans. Man. So I'm seriously willing to give it a shot. So I'm stoked for it.
I'm super happy you are, man. It's a good game. We don't know if it's a good game, but it comes from a good series. And even though the last couple of games haven't been their best, they're good enough that I have a feeling with the developers just learning a lot, and this being on the Switch, their ambitions are probably like really high, and they more than likely will reach that. And I really hope that they do, because I have a fondness for Fire Emblem that I just want more people to enjoy it, you know?
Yeah.
Now,
no, that's cool, man.
One game that we were hyped for back at E3 last year, I believe, and it kind of just went blank. Like, we didn't hear anything about this game for a while. Sea of Solitude.
Yes.
Like, we did not hear anything. I think at one point before E3, we were wondering ourselves, like, are we going to see more of the game? When is it coming out? Etc. I don't know. I don't know what happened with EA. I don't know if they actually did mention the release date or not. But that game came out today.
Yeah.
What the hell? How did that slip by? I don't know.
I don't know, man. I mean, like, all the craziness that was happening at E3, like, it was pretty much, if it wasn't on screen, we weren't even paying attention to it. I feel like there was so much stuff going on throughout that time. But I mean, I'm looking it up right now, and like, it's got a 67 on Metacritic, which is kind of like disheartening because I had such high hopes for it. But like, 8 user ratings gives it an 8.8. So it might not be critically acclaimed, but it might have, some sort of merit.
And that's fine. Not every game has to be an 80 plus for it to be a good game. I'm sure that's a fine game. It sucks because primarily Metacritic is used by a lot of people to gauge success. And people will see that and they may not buy the game. And that's going to suck.
Yep.
The game might actually have a lot to tell. I eventually am going to pick it up. I never planned to pick it up on day one. Unless it, and this might almost seem hypocritical. I would have picked it up if it was like a 90 and people were like, oh my god, you got to get it. That's the reason I was interested in Celeste. I saw that it was a good game when it came out. I was like, okay, you know what the heck, I'll bite the bullet and see what the deal is. In this case, going in, we didn't know much anyway, so I wasn't gonna get it day one. And because of the reviews, it almost does push me back a little bit, but I do plan to get it and give it a shot. So it might sound a little hypocritical to say, like, wait a second, but you're saying Metacritic hurt? Yeah, it does, but let's be real here. We only have so much little time, and we need to make sure we use it to the best of our abilities. And with the games that we're playing and the games that we're going to be playing in 3 weeks, we got to make sure we have that time available. So.
Correct. No, man, I agree with you. Like, it's definitely one of those games that I want to give it a shot. Like, I feel like it's like, and this kind of goes back to Hellblade. Like, Hellblade from a purely mechanical gameplay aspect and angle, there's nothing there that really reinvents the wheel or kind of like blows your brains. Right. And some people kind of shunned it for that. They were like, the gameplay was too basic, it was too simple, and there wasn't really anything that blew our minds. It was, like you said, about the experience. And with Sea of Solitude, I could see a similar premise, that it is more about this experience of dealing with mental illness. So I don't know, man, but crazy that it just totally like came out of nowhere.
That kills me. How the hell it flew under our radar entirely, I'll never know. But I mean, c'est la vie, right?
C'est la vie. You got it.
Besides that, the only other big release that's coming out this month is Shadowbringers, which came out on the 2nd of July. And I'm sure there's more games out there, but these are the ones that caught my attention. And I know Sean is knee-deep into Final Fantasy XIV right now. It is a game that we were all kind of like really interested in playing. After him putting a few dozen hours, more than that, I think he's already put at least 30 to 40, because he beat the vanilla Final Fantasy XIV. So he's getting into Heavensward now. I don't know if I'm gonna get into it. I would like to. I've always wanted to try an MMO, like, for real. I only put in like 2 hours into WoW, like way back in the day, and I feel like that wasn't enough. But it really is a time investment, and I know people will tell me, like, yes, there's a time investment, but it's not that bad. Stop playing Overwatch and play this, and I get it, but I don't know, man. I gotta feel it. I really gotta feel it, and I haven't felt it yet. So maybe in the future, I don't know.
It's on my PC back in Florida.
That's right. You downloaded it.
I literally downloaded it, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna pack, and then I'm gonna play. And packing just took over, and I never actually got a chance to play.
Well, you gotta pack for a 2-month trip, dude. Can't skip out on that.
No, not at all, man.
Well,
man.
Yeah, so I don't know, man, but that's kind of it for the games. That I mean, are there any other games that you were interested in July that I missed?
No, none that I can think of. But man, September is just gonna be nuts.
September is gonna be nuts, and I saw a video today of Astral Chain, a lot of more
Dude.
gameplay from the Treehouse.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Looks so good.
That game is gonna be, whew. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited for Astral Chain, but we're not talking about that. That's in August. We're talking about today.
Today, yeah.
So let's talk about some news, dude.
Oh my god, man. Okay, I feel like we gotta get this out of the way. Final Fantasy VIII having potentially, and I take this with a grain of salt.
Yes.
Like the biggest grain of salt, like a freaking salt mine grain of salt. Like the fact that they found, in the source code on their website saying that they are going to have full voiceovers on top of text boxes like this
like
in
English
our Patreon.
And Japanese, dude.
Yes. Like, dude, that's awesome.
If it happens. What were you gonna say about Patreon?
No, I was talking to people on Patreon, or not on our Patreon, on our Discord.
Yeah.
On our Patreon exclusive Discord, and we were talking about the potential of like the nostalgia being ruined by this, but like the fact that in the source code they're like, you have full voiceovers, or you also have text overlays. Like you have those two options.
Right.
I hope that if this is real, that you can actually toggle between the two. That would be nice.
I'm sure there's no way that they would do a remaster of a voiceless game, decide to add voices, and then not give you the option to not have those. That would be honestly an asinine decision by Square Enix. If they do that, I'm not gonna be happy, like at all. Even though I do want to, I would actually like to see the voiceover, because it actually might be that might add an element to the game if they re-localize the script, because the first localization was kind of rough, and a lot of people in the last 20 years have said that Squall wasn't characterized properly. A lot of the translations were like, whatever, I don't care. Like, he gave a nonchalant attitude, but that wasn't it. Apparently Squall's original translations were more, or not original but the original Japanese script, when properly translated, gave way to a more of a shy character, or more of a flawed character that just didn't know how to express himself, versus being like, I don't care, leave me alone.
Right.
So if they can fix that with the voiceover, that actually might be kind of amazing. But
yeah, I mean, it could definitely completely and totally change the outlook of the character, at least here in the West. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'd be stoked, man. But speaking of Discord, you told me that you joined in Panzer Dragoon's Discord, the Forever Entertainment, right?
I sure did. I sure did.
Because I mean, come on, that was your game at E3 pretty much. That was the final bet that actually happened,
dude. And I'm so glad I did, because so I found this on Twitter actually. I was going through our Twitter feed for the Game Resume, which find us on Twitter at the Game Resume, and I saw the Panzer Dragoon. I think it was Panzer Dragoon World or Panzer Dragoon Legacy, one of the ones that actually like followed us or whatever. I saw that they had put a suggestion to join the Discord because the developers are very active there. So I did, and they have like a channel specifically for remake feedback, and this is something that I've never seen done before. The fact that you have all these very passionate people going in there and giving this really good feedback to the developers, like front and center, to the point where the developers themselves went onto Twitter to say, hey, we're listening. We may not be able to make all these changes because we are trying to get this out in winter this year, but we're listening. Like, that makes me happy, because even though we may not get it for the first game, we may get that for the second one, because VEI it's in pre-production right now. And the fact that it is, that gives me so much more hope, because they'll be able to look at VEI originally on the Saturn and say, okay, this is what we need to do to get that original vision. So it would hurt if the first one doesn't get that original vision too, but honestly speaking, the second game is much better, like in almost every way. It had a better budget, arguably better music, better levels, better like gameplay mechanics. So I'd rather the second game be the real like experience to the original Vision.
Right. Understandably so. I mean, I feel like any sequel, most of the time, especially when you're talking about game developers, they learn from their mistakes. They learn from feedback from the people that buy it and the fans. So it makes sense.
Heck yeah, man. Did you read about the Nintendo controller, by the way, for next gen?
I read about. I was looking into it, and I'm pretty sure that it was it through Nintendo Everything.
Yes it was.
Yeah, so I and this was, well, go ahead, tell me about it.
Well, literally all I read was just that Nintendo wants to create a controller that's, you know how they are. They want to make stuff for everyone. And I guess they weren't happy with motion controls. Like, it appealed to some people, but it didn't appeal to others. And then with the Wii U, they had the gyro in the remote itself, the big tablet controller, and they still just weren't appealing to everyone. So now with the Switch, the Pro Controller with the gyro and the Joy-Cons with the like really good gyroscope that it has in there, I think what they're trying to say is that they want to appeal and have a controller that works for literally all people. And I think that's a cool idea, because I think gyroscope is a really good solution to motion control. Like, really, really good.
I agree 110%, because, like, you know, I still have my original Wii. It's plugged in upstairs in the guest bedroom, and every once in a while I go up there to play GameCube games.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that, like, you can tell that, like, the technology was there and it was great, but it was still somewhat flawed in comparison to the Switch.
Yeah, using friggin', like, I think it used RF signals.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? Yeah,
Yep.
That's rough. I mean, I get it. It is very accurate, because it really was. It ended up being pretty accurate for pointing. It wasn't too accurate for actual motions, and that's where they made that Wii Motion Plus, which then, like, Skyward Sword used pretty well. That was good to kind of get that what is it, the location of the Switch in that plane. Whereas with the Joy-Con and the gyroscope, gyroscopes aren't as good for pointing, but it is to the point where it still works fine. I mean, I don't know about you, but I played a lot of Splatoon 2 and Breath of the Wild with gyroscope on.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh man, I suck at that.
Dude, once you get your hand down, like, once you get it down pat, it is so much more accurate. Like Splatoon 2 in particular, while, I mean, there's a huge learning curve there, like super huge. It makes a world of difference. Like, like, you know how people will say for shooters on consoles, if you have a mouse and keyboard, you have a huge advantage.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. That is the closest you'll get to a mouse and keyboard with a controller.
Dang.
Yeah, so it's worth trying out if you haven't.
I mean,
if you play Splatoon 2 again.
I boot it up every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's fun, and you know, it's a shooter unlike any other. Let's just put it like that.
It definitely is, man.
So I don't know, man, but I've never been a big fan of the whole motion control and gyroscope stuff. Like, it's just kind of there for, like, I don't know, like, to me anyways, for like Mario Party and things like that. Though, like you said, there are some people that are like, for FPS or like TPS, like that's the go-to.
It works like well, man. There's some games that really, like Skyward Sword, for as much crap as it got for it not being accurate, when it was accurate, man, that felt awesome. There's just some games that really benefit from having motion controls. There are some that really don't. Like Mario Galaxy had some okay motion controls implemented, but Skyward Sword, like, it had some really good stuff. And with gyroscopes, like, I don't know, Breath of the Wild felt very, very good with that. Like, my aiming felt I was doing flick shots with arrows. Like, I don't know, that's the kind of stuff you get from like mouse and keyboards. I don't know, man.
But oh man, was there anything else that came out recently, or any news or anything like that
that's
popped up?
Pretty much it. I mean, you've got the basic crap from, like, you know, like the bad news segment, if you want to call it that, where Mr. Bobby Kotick over here is making millions, and Blizzard Activision, you know how they fired those people? Like, they fired 800 employees a few months back.
Yeah.
even though they recorded record revenues. So now they're rehiring for those people that they fired. They literally have public job postings open for those people.
Seriously? Was
Yeah.
was it a bunch of like community managers and stuff
Yep.
like that?
Yeah, community managers, and it sucks.
Uh,
It sucks to see this because it reminds me that we are in an unfortunate capitalistic environment. This is an industry with no union, so all these people don't have protection. They can get let go at any time, and that's it. And this is a form of art. Like, these people really do care about what they're working on. So for them to lose their jobs like this, it sucks. And I really hope that the industry moves towards a unionized industry because they need it. Like, game developers genuinely need it, amongst others too. Because I mean, that's all over the all over the world and whatever. But yeah.
No, man, you're 100% right. Like I remember we talked about Super Bunny Hop. Like he went ahead and did like a full on like just an array of interviews and
almost like an
focused,
expose.
yeah, on like crunch within the industry and everything that's going on.
So awful.
And like oh god, it was around the time the GDC was happening.
Yeah, I believe so. I think, and that conversation even came up again when Nintendo released the whole, Animal Crossing is delayed, and they lost, like, their stocks went down. They lost a bunch of money because the shareholders weren't happy, and it's like, yeah, but they're doing it because they care about their employees.
Yeah. But hey, I don't know if you follow the stocks or whatever, but I mean, I don't know. It's weird because to trade with an international company, like you have to go through like a couple of hoops. But Robinhood posted, the Robinhood trading app posted yesterday or the day before that Nintendo hit a 52-week high.
Nice.
So
they're back up.
It's all recoverable, man, and
No,
it's
for sure.
it's literally. It's BS. Investors and all that, like it's BS. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
So.
I'm glad that they've been constantly doing this where they definitely do put the developer first. I mean, you don't have a company CEO take a cut when the main seller for that company is doing bad. I will always talk about Iwata because I respected that man. I obviously never met him. He was essentially a CEO. He did have the company's best interest in mind, but because it was a developer himself, because he moved up in that ladder, that he knew what those people down under him had to do and had to deal with. So him taking two major pay cuts, cutting his salary in half twice, like, that's the kind of attitude that CEOs should take. And when you have somebody like friggin' Bobby Kotick or whatever the hell his name is, who makes like, $7 billion or $8 billion, that's how much his friggin' net worth is. Like, you can take a 10% cut and you're still, that's millions of dollars that's going to go to help these people keep their jobs. But they don't care,
No, not at all, man. That's the sad thing about everything that's happening within the gaming industry. So I don't know, man.
I want people to like open up their eyes because we love these games. We love the industry. It's a very passionate industry, but we tend to not look at the bad stuff. We look at Game Freak, for example, and we're like, oh, but they're working hard. They should, it's Pokemon. It's hundreds of things. And it's like, yeah, but, there's precedent here. Game Freak could be doing something totally differently, and that's obviously a certain different topic. We're talking about crunch and whatnot. And I'm not telling Game Freak to crunch, but they could be at the place they are now because of that push. They don't want to crunch, but they're being held back from their potential because of how the industry is. They need to get this game out, so they may be taking shortcuts to get the game out on time. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I totally understand where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I don't want to end on a bad note or on a sad note. But, we got to be realistic here at TGR, baby. And that's what it is. But either way, I'm happy. I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks. I really do want to finish Bloodstained before Fire Emblem comes out. I want to have as much of a clean plate as possible.
Oh, yeah.
I highly suggest, dude, you play through Bloodstained, man. Get through it. It's good. It's really good.
I will. It's on my to-do list of things because I don't know if I told you, but I ended up getting during the E3 shop thing. I ended up getting like Cuphead and Katana Zero and
yeah, Cuphead.
Oh man, I got like a bunch of stuff, and now I have like this full plate of things, and I'm just like, oh, all right.
Good
So
job, dude.
Fire
You,
Emblem's coming out.
you like filled up your backlog. Nice.
Yeah, I added more into my backlog.
Good going, dude. GG.
So yeah, pretty much. So I don't know, man. But aside from that, I guess that's pretty much all the stuff that we had to kind of like talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, that is it, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was our first official, I guess. We've had podcasts before, but they always had our cameras in the front, and you can always like see us interact. This is our like first, like I guess you could call it traditional podcast.
Yeah.
It's just
Pretty
voices.
much. Yeah, just our beautiful voices. So.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed. We're gonna try to do this at good intervals. We haven't entirely discussed this, like Rudy mentioned at the beginning. We are going through a transitional period, and we'll let you guys know more as the time goes on. We'll let you know exactly what's happening and where we're gonna be at. But we are here to stay. We are definitely not going anywhere. So for all the subscribers that are new to the channel and this is your first time listening to us, this is new to us. If you want to see our old podcast, go right ahead. We have playlists on the channel. But this is definitely new, so forgive any awkward moments or silences or our probably our excessive ums and uhs that we're gonna have.
Yeah. What'd you say? Huh? What?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh man, but no, thanks guys so much for listening, and if you guys have any questions, comments, or things like that, let us know in the comments section below. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed our conversation. Give us a thumbs down if you didn't, because we want to hear
we want to know the truth.
We want to know what you guys exactly.
Yeah.
But aside from that, guys, if you guys haven't had a chance, go check out our Patreon, and for a minimum of $1, you can get access to our Patreon exclusive Discord, where you get to talk to us and kind of figure out what's going on behind the scenes and things like that. There's also different tiers and things like that too. But aside from that, that's pretty much it. So I guess until next time, guys.
All right. See you guys later. I'll be here in Orlando, Rudy in Poland. So keep an eye out for some fun shenanigans the next couple of weeks.
Definitely. Until next time, guys. Deuces.
Later, guys.
Like what you saw? Check out some of our other videos.
Be sure to click the subscribe button, hit the little bell, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.
Thanks for your support, and thanks for watching.